Hello, 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 everyone. Um, Jessica, at this point, you should be able to know that we don't immediately come in with sound because we got to make sure that somebody is there first. So it comes on with the black screen so we can make sure everything is working. And we have to make sure everybody is available. So the first minute or two is so that you guys can invite your friends. And so that we know everything is working. How are you all this fine Sunday afternoon or evening? Is it evening at 6 o'clock? I don't know. On this fine Sunday dinner hour, invite your friends, please. We're going to have a great conversation today. Hey, see, I got
Hey,
you.
everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Stuff, and you know that you could be any second. Them the rules.
I'm sorry.
Anyway.
Happy Sunday.
Yes, happy Sunday. Well, this is exciting because this is another group member whose fragrance, I don't know if it was Liz Shard or Aubrey Duell who introduced us to Mikey Blaylock. I really
It
don't.
was Michelle Brinkman for me.
Oh, it was Michelle Brinkman. Did you make sure that you at her to get her on this live?
Yeah, and she's already tagged a whole bunch of people, so she knows all about it.
Okay.
Hi,
Just
Laura.
looking to
Hi,
see-
Donna. Hi, Jessica.
Oh yeah, I see him. Okay. Oh, thank you. And I'm trying to tell you, Laura is like the fan club. I mean, she on it before the admins. But Patrick and Derek will show up eventually. Brandy sometimes. This is in the middle of her dinner hour too, and I know that, she has to deal with the crisis at home on Sunday afternoon. But we're excited because this is another group member. He's been watching us. He's excited to get his turn. And I'm always, excited to hear because he is actually the nose behind the fragrance. So, and y'all know how that went with Jerian because we know that I'm going to beg for me a fragrance. So, are y'all ready?
I'm ready.
We're ready.
Okay, let's get it. Hey, Mikey.
There it is.
Hey, Mikey.
How's it going?
So good.
Yeah, I mean it's Sunday afternoon, right? The weekend is officially over. I have been ignored for like 3 days because of the NFL draft. So I've had lots of time to indulge in my fragrance because of that. There you go. And now apparently LeBron James has scored 68 points out of 72 or something. I just was told that because I don't care, but whatever. I don't care, but I was just told how amazing that was. And we've got quite a few people on already, so that's exciting. So first, we always want to know, Mikey, what is your scent of the day?
My scent of the day is something I haven't come out with yet that I've been playing with. So, in some of my fragrances, you might see the notes called drunken florals. And so I'm kind of getting into the floral side of things, which I've never had in the past. Never, ever, ever. It was never been my thing. But since I'm able to kind of create my own fragrances, it's growing on me. And so today, my scent of the day is, and this is just version 3.2, drunken florals. So as you can see, there's a little bit of rose absolute. There's some patchouli absolute. It's dark Indonesian patchouli. There's some vanilla absolute. And so it's just quite a few different florals. There's jasmine, there's ylang ylang.
Don't give them everything all at once. We got to keep some of it on a DL. Don't give them everything.
Oh, but it's so good though. It's so good though. I mean, it's one of those where it's a masculine floral because a lot of times florals can tend to be more feminine, right? And so I did create a feminine version of it, but this one more masculine. So that's what I wore today to church, and it was some compliments there, so it was nice.
Well, I want to start there. Okay, so what is your role at the church? Because folks, y'all just don't know how hard this interview was to get together because we were in the middle of the Lenten season, and he's like, I have to go to church. So what's your role?
So my wife and I, we teach what they call a seminary. So basically, we teach the kids from high school from age 14 to 18. We teach a seminary class. So we teach them the gospel, and we teach them in a way that they can learn according to how old they are. And we just teach them, and hopefully that when school's over, they have a foundation of the Savior.
Well,
So
I mean, I think that's fabulous because these kids nowadays, I don't know, they need Jesus.
they need Jesus.
They need Jesus.
We all still do, no matter how much we know, we still need them. Okay, so yes, but yeah, see, some of these youth and the kids in our class, I tell you, they're fantastic. They love to share what they feel with others, and they love to make others feel better. And especially when they're having the worst times of their life, if they have that knowledge and they know what's true, they can share that with their friends and change their day, right? So that's the goal. How can they change their day, make it feel better, and then have those kids gravitate to where happiness really truthfully is, and that's with Jesus, So
how many students do you have in your seminary class?
we have 24. There's 2 classes. We have 24 in ours. We teach a nighttime class, and the one in the morning, which starts at 5:30 in the morning, they have about 26 before high school.
I mean, I think that's a true miracle right there, getting high school kids to get up and be there at 5:30.
It is.
Child.
It is. And they come and they because they want to be there. They're not being forced. They want to be there, which is the best part of it, right? So you're not pulling teeth. Kids want to be there and learn, and they want to start their day off right. So more power to them.
So do you have a theology or divinity degree or anything? What's your background? Educational? No? Okay.
No, I work in healthcare.
Ah, okay.
So it's true labor of love for you.
This was a calling that was extended to us about 3 years ago, and they asked us if we would teach it, and we said yes, we would. And my wife I'm in Texas now. I'm in the Manville area now, but before
we don't know where that is.
Okay, sorry, that's southeast of Houston, just southeast of Houston, about 25 minutes away from the Texas Medical Center.
There you go. Okay, because I sued them. I know where that is.
All right, well, go for you.
Just everybody got to have their own point of reference.
That's it. But before we moved here to Texas, we lived in Florida. My wife taught seminary by herself for another 3 years. Before that, she was asked to teach, and so she's got a total of 6 years teaching. I have 3 now. This is my third. This will be my third. So
where in Florida were you?
So I was in Cocoa Beach area because I'm a surfer.
Okay.
I'm a surfer too, so I love fishing and hunting.
We're on the other side.
So this is interesting because now you are the second perfumer that want to tell me about your fishing and hunting. Are you also going to try to convince me that I need to be going a rubber boat, motor boat, a power boat? What that thing called?
Airboat.
That thing, yes. Are you also going to try to take me to the Everglades and throw me in? Because they was trying to kill me. You might not have known that.
Listen, shout out to Gator Bruce if Gator Bruce is listening out there. So he was.
We got another one.
I'm just kidding. There's no Gator Bruce on I don't think that he's on this group. So, but
Gator
Gator Bruce.
Look. Okay, hey Gator Bruce. Y'all trying to feed me to gators, and I have known that for a while. Okay.
No, I will feed you gator, but I'm not trying to feed you to gators.
Delicious. Absolutely.
I've had alligator a couple times. I mean, I'm a big old country gal, but I don't need to go out there and wrestle it down myself. Like somebody else needs to handle that.
I have a buddy that did that.
You see?
My uncle is he just passed away a couple months ago, but he was a gator wrestler.
My buddy, he was no official gator wrestler, but he was a crazy country boy too. And so there's a massive ranch down the road from where we used to live, and there would be gators in the ditch. I mean, if you know Florida, there's gators everywhere. People's pools, climbing over fences,
Mm-hmm.
And so he would see them in the ditch, drive by it, and jump, and have somebody else take the steering wheel and jump off the back of the truck onto the alligator, wrestle it, bring it onto the truck, and just take pictures with it, and then throw it back over.
Well, I just want to, the reason I say that is because now, we got Jarian running around and he trying to get me out here with alligators in the backwoods. And I'm just wondering, and then you had Francisco, who told us about how he was trying to raise his own stock. And so is this like a common theme with these people that want to create perfume? Like it's just an extension of that? I'm just wondering.
Wait, are you talking about Rosario again? Because you keep saying Francisco.
Francisco Rosario. Y'all know who I'm talking about. 1973. I know everybody's house. Okay, I know everybody's house. So 1973. Yes, that's what he want to do. So I just want to know if that. I don't know. Maybe it's something because we always like one thing is in common, and we make that the standard. You know how we do, especially in America. That's how we make up things. Donna ran over a gator once. How you? Oh, because she was in Florida. I'm like, how you run over a gator? She was in Florida.
I ran over a gator, and that was a very close call. So,
what happens when you run over a gator?
What happened?
You said it was a close call. Like, what happened?
Yeah. It's like hitting a speed bump.
It's like I hit a 11-foot alligator on a highway going 80 miles an hour when I was 17 at like 10 o'clock at night.
Did you go
down Everglade Alley, down the place where we told you we wouldn't take you because if we ever got stranded.
Alligator
Alley.
Yes.
So no, it's like hitting a deer or a moose in the middle of the night. It'll tear your car apart. You can flip. You can die. It was only by the grace of God that I walked away from that unscathed.
And on that note, so since I had made this correlation, let's start with what we were supposed to start with.
Yeah, let's get back to perfume. Mikey started it. I just want to say
right?
He started it.
Seriously, no. Here, I'm just a simple guy. Meanwhile, it's like it goes right off the rails real quick, and we love that for us. The people are really they're feeling the vibe here. They're feeling the vibe, and you've got quite a few folks. And Jessica wants you to know that you have 3 hours because she has to play hockey. She has to watch hockey. Okay, so other than that, she is here for the duration of what you have to say.
Jeez.
So we need to know, how did you first fall in love with perfume?
Okay, here's my story. Now, most of you can probably relate. Okay, most of you can probably relate. So I was in high school, broke as can be, and I needed a job. And so I got a job at a place called J. Riggins. And some of you old schoolers might have heard of J. Riggins. It's like an old suit store. They used to sell a whole bunch of, polos, leather jackets, but mainly suits. And so because I was there, I was starting to get a little bit of money. And the Dillard's, of course, is about just a couple stores over. So I used to run to the Dillard's and just kind of before work and just spray myself down, Got to know the folks really good behind the counter. And it got to the point where I started looking at the prices of how much the colognes cost. I was like, man, this is killing me. So because I became friends with them, they would give me samples, and a lot of them. So I got to the point where I had hundreds of samples, and so I would just kind of like bottle my own up, and just kind of just use that. And so I got to the point where I was at school, and people would say, "Man, you smell really good." Blah blah. And so this was the time for Escape, Eternity, Obsession, all those Calvin Klein.
It was a good time in life, okay? It was a good time.
That was great, right? The cool water came out, 10,000 sprays, and you're radiating, you turn green, because it's just so potent. That's what it was. And you just walk in so confident. And it's just,
did you have some Johnson baby powder too?
What's that?
Did you have some Johnson baby powder?
Yeah.
No, because Snoop, he was like, I got my Johnson baby powder and water cologne because I was fresh. That's how he was doing it.
Yeah, because it's funny because I did use a lot of baby powder because I sweat a lot, because I play lots of sports. I was playing basketball in high school and whatnot, but that's how I got into it. And it got to the point where I wanted others to start smelling it too. So I started getting samples to everybody else, and I became the sample guy. Right. So everybody come to me, I want to try this one. So I talked to my friends behind the counter, and they would go and buy something. Right. So it helped them out. And they got commission at the Dillard's and at the Birdines. They got commission.
Birdines. God.
Wow, that's a throwback.
Remember Birdines?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yes. So that's how it started.
I went to my first Dillard's when I came to their house. So I don't know. That's all Southern stuff. I don't know nothing about none of that.
Oh, is that only Southern?
I didn't know that either, but
I didn't think that was.
Dillard's is Virginia and below.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, Dillard's is Virginia and below. Up north, we had Lord and Taylor, John Wanamaker, Strawbridges. Entirely, the one that start with the B. I forgot what it was. Not Boscov's. It start with a B.
Elk Lindsay?
And Levitt's and we had entirely different Bonton.
Never heard of those.
We had entirely different stores than you guys. So it's always interesting when I talk to you all and you're talking and I'm like, Okay, it's a department store. I've never heard of it, but yeah, so it's like,
well,
it's interesting.
You are a little older than us, so if you said something like Woolworths, we would understand.
She's gonna murder you. Okay.
Oh, it didn't freeze. That was just me gritting on you through the camera. Okay, that's okay. You know what? I'm gonna tell you, I may be the oldest, but I still look the best. Well, my 10 pounds of makeup that you just saw me put on because I was running late, but still.
3 sprays in a circle.
I'm trying to tell you, they be ready for you. So so they are definitely vibing with your story, Mikey. Because Donna says I'm a sample person here, and she is. Donna bought her first bottle of perfume ever in her life last week.
Whoa.
Nice. Donna is older than me. Her first bottle ever that she ever actually went out and bought. She's been living on samples for all of her 5+ decades. But she had the samples for you, though. I mean, she be like, "Oh, I got some of that," and she know exactly where they are. She like, look, and she was in there sweating so hard buying that fragrance too. She was sweating spending that money. She was like, "Why does it cost so much now?" And I said, "Baby, it always costs that much. You just wasn't buying it."
Well, speaking of samples, I know I gave you guys one to give away, but how about this? How about we give away a discovery set now, since we're talking about samples also?
Oh, perfect.
Okay, perfect.
So whoever wins it can choose 5, and they come in beautiful, these sizes, 3 mils, but they actually fill up to like 4, almost 4 mils. So they choose 5, and I'll send it out to them no cost for free.
Oh, that's lovely. When Madonna like me. She was first. She really was. She was like me. That's too funny. Well, no, y'all know how I go. Everybody gets a chance. We got to spin the wheel. But what we'll do is we will limit Bambergers. Thank you, Donna. But also Bontons. But we're going to limit Bonwit Teller. Thank you. That was the one. But we're going to limit it to the folks who are actually already here. So, okay. So we've got 15 people on. So there you go. So you 15 are going to be limited to this first set of samples. I mean, I feel like that's fair. So I just took a screenshot. I know who you are. Oh, excuse me, my nose itch. So thank you. Now you know they're gonna be around. They love the free stuff. Okay, we
all do. I'm Spanish. I love everything free. Let me tell you, I'm Spanish.
Well, you just said you was going down, and I do not knock that hustle. Okay, I just went to Lord, what is it? Nordstrom, my favorite store, right before I came here, and they just got Mind Games in. Like
now,
they just no that one. So Nordstrom carries. But every store doesn't carry everything. Every store does not carry. So every Neiman Marcus, like we went to a Neiman Marcus at my aunt, she's been dying to smell Bodicea. So we went to Neiman Marcus in Tampa because she wanted to smell Bodicea. And we go all the way there, and guess what they don't carry?
Bodicea.
Yes. But she fell in love with Ex Nihilo. So that's who she fell in love with. She had never smelled anything, and she found 3 over there that she liked. But so everybody doesn't always carry everything. And a lot of it, as I've learned, is especially, I'm in a large metropolitan area. So, we've got Neiman Marcus, Nordstrom, the Super Macy's, and we've got the Creed store and the Mind Game store and the Amouage store. They're all within 2 miles of each other. So a lot of times they don't want to saturate the market. So like example, you go King of Prussia, there's an issue because there's Chanel Beauty, Louboutin Beauty, D&G Beauty, Gucci, and they're all on the way to Neiman Marcus. Dang. So they don't carry any of the purvey lines of any of those stores because you can walk right outside the mall and get them. However, it's the same mall. A mile away in the same mall is the Nordstrom. Nordstrom's farther away than Neiman Marcus. Nordstrom carries all of those in the purvey line in the same daggone mall. But if you don't know that, then you're going to go to Gucci and to Fendi and to go smell the perfume. So it's like a whole thing. So the point of that is, as a result, too close together, and the Nordstrom that was closest to me did not carry Mind Games and Initio in store, and they just got them last Wednesday. So even though I have literally those entire lines, the point of that story is, my girls who work there were like, "We have samples. Yes, I will take some of all of them."
That's right.
I guess, and Donna just said, good. Thank you. Okay.
So you were the sample man.
So how did that transition for you? So you were the sample man. You hooked people up with samples at the school. They went and purchased. And then where do we go after that?
Okay, and so after that, I got excited about collecting other stuff, and so I kind of put perfumes and colognes aside. Even though I still wore it all the time, I wasn't as into it and trying to figure, what was it made of and whatnot. So probably about 6 years ago now, I got to the point where I wanted to start making my own, and I wanted to try to figure out what I can make some of my favorites that I had. What can I do to make them better, right? Or if I had a cologne that I bought somewhere, a nice, beautiful fragrance, I thought, this is missing X, Y, and Z. What can I do? So I would spend extra money and buy 2 colognes, 2 fragrances, right? And I'd say, you know what? Because I have a little bit of a chemistry background. So I figure, if I can make this into this, if I can do, 10% of this into this, I can make this. And so I would get a fragrance, and of course I decant it to a certain ratio, and then I get the other one into a certain ratio, and I say, you know what, this is what I want in this, and then I would start blending those together. I say, okay, this is what I want for me, and I would start doing that just for myself. And then it got to the point where people started saying, hey, what are you wearing? And I say, I'm wearing 2. And so they ask, are you layering? No, I'm not layering. I just mixed 2 together. And so and then move on, a couple months later, they were asking me to make them bottles of that. So I started doing that about 5 years ago. And then I would start giving them away. And it got to the point my wife saw how much I was spending. And she didn't want these. She was like, how you look at the bank statements, and she's like, no, you're done. I was like, oh. And so I started
our fellow admin Derek Barr can attest to that.
I'm telling you, it can get really pricey really quickly. And so I decided, okay, I'm just going to start making it for myself and for my friends. Then I started buying oils, and I started buying, different ingredients and accords and whatnot. I started messing with it from there, and I started making them for myself again. And then I started making them for just only friends and family for about 4 years and a half or so. And then about a year and a half ago, my wife says, why don't you just make it for people? People are always complimenting you. They love your stuff when you're wearing it to church. They love it when you go to the schools, when you're dropping off the kids. They blah, blah, blah. So it got to the point where she said, just invest in yourself. Okay. And so I have a really demanding job at the same time, because we're working in healthcare. I work in the business development and growth and strategy side. So there's not a lot of time to do anything. So my focus has to be growing the business, right, for the company. That's my job, is to make sure that the company is doing everything that it can possibly do to drive that revenue to a new tier. And so I didn't want to take away from that. So I would only work on my own stuff at night, because I don't sleep a lot to begin with. I don't sleep a lot. So I go to sleep about 3 o'clock in the morning, right? So that's kind of like my time from after the kids go to sleep. I have about a 3-hour window or so, maybe 3.5 hours. And so I just play with it. I grab the graduated cylinders, start playing with things, writing it all down, and trying to see what works. And I just really, at the end of the day, it got to the point where I start making.
Alexa, stop. Sorry,
what happened?
Alexa wanted to start telling me what the weather was. I'm sorry, I forgot to silence her. I silenced everything else. I silenced the phones. I silenced everything. Alexa, stop. She's like, sorry.
No, I was just saying, and it comes to the point where people ask me, what inspires you to make a certain fragrance, right? Because I have about probably 9 or 10 out right now. And I just tell them, for me, it's just, I make what I like. That's it. I make what I like. I can't please everybody, but I know I can please my own olfactory senses if I make something that smells great to me, and I hope that others like it. So that's what I started doing. I started making what I enjoy. And so if you ever have any of my fragrances in the background, I try to have like the aquatic vibe in the background because of Cocoa Beach, right? That's kind of like my thing. I love aquatics. I'm a big aquatic guy. I mean, I like aquatics so much. I think Imagination, Louis Vuitton Imagination, I think that's an aquatic. I don't even think that's a tea fragrance. To me, that's an aquatic.
I would agree with you. I actually agree with you.
Yeah.
So I actually agree with you.
Yeah, and so I like aquatics. I like things that smell in the background. You can kind of, if you've had a vacation somewhere and you put your feet in the sand, you're laying in your little beach chair, you have an umbrella in the background, you can smell that. That's what my fragrances are. And so, in the beginning of them, there might be a tobacco base, there might be a boozy floral fragrance, it might be something a molecular type fragrance, but in the background, I try to incorporate the beachiness of it. Just a little bit of the salt, a little bit of the sand, the wind, and whatnot. So that's where I kind of just ended up. And so that's what I'm doing right now. It's just putting all that in the background, but making what I like. That's very easy to wear. That's going to get you compliments, and that's going to last on your skin, and it's going to make you feel confident.
So I have a couple questions. I know the answers, but for everybody else that hasn't had a chance to kind of look up your brand and know some things, can you tell everybody here how you came about with your name and all of that, and kind of give them some history on the family and that?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I didn't even think about that. So the brand is Profum di Toti. And so I say it like that because I'm Italian also. So my grandfather was from Sicily. And so he was born in Sicily. And then when he was younger, World War I kind of started up. And during that time in Italy, the Germans were invading, and it was just ridiculous. And so his aunt and uncle, they took him away from his parents to save him, and basically brought him to Argentina, South America, Argentina. And there is where he basically grew up, had his family, and where my mom was born. And then eventually, years later, after my mom married my dad brought them all over to the United States. And that's how, and so the Perfume di Toti, the Toti is actually my grandfather's nickname, Nonno Toti. So his real name is Salvatore Mancuso. And so Nonno Toti is what we called him. We called Nonna Lolen, my grandma, Lolen. So it was Nonna and Nonno, Toti and Lolen. And so that's how the name came to be. And the reason why I named it Profumo di Toti is because a lot of times when we have our ancestors who have passed, we tend to forget them, right? But if you call something a product or a solution that you have, or something that means something to you after them, you're always saying their name and you're always remembering them. It's harder to forget when you're constantly talking about them. And so this is just kind of like an ode to him, because he was an inventor. And when he came to the before he came to the United States, he had a cream that he created, and no one can find the formula to it to this day. I was talking to my mom just about a month ago when she was here in Texas visiting. I was asking her, is there any updates on finding the formulation? She said no. And this cream was basically a cream. It's like a fountain of youth cream. Everyone swore by it. And it was the type where you put it on, and it wasn't just tightening the skin, but it was actually, just really, really increasing and hydrating the skin to the point where it was almost like a permanent thing. And so people loved it. And my grandfather had some that was in the refrigerator of my grandma's house. But when my grandma passed, someone must have cleaned it out.
Oh.
And no one can find it, because what we wanted to do is find it and take it to a lab and have it recreated. But we haven't been able to do that. So
it's like the fabulous starter yeast from the famous bakery, and somebody actually destroyed it. No, that's actually a story.
Yes.
Behind Stroman bread. That's the reason they've never been able. Stroman bread doesn't taste like. Is Stroman bread just a local thing? Do y'all know what Stroman bread is?
I know the story, but yes.
Yeah, but okay, there you go. But Stroman, that was actually the problem, is that somebody destroyed the starter yeast, and they were never able to duplicate that bread again.
Right.
So yeah, you got to take care of your stuff, y'all. You can take care of your stuff. The lawyer in me wants you to know that when you create your wills, you need to put your starter yeast in your chemical compound for your magic cream in the will, so that the person that knows what to do with it is available. Just saying.
I wish we had it. Now, if I would have had it, of course, I would have come out with it. But I don't do creams. I don't know how to do creams or soaps or anything like that. I'm sure there's a way that a lot of people that are probably listening have done it. But my thing was fragrances. So as an ode to Nonno Toti, I did Profum di Toti. So that's how that came up.
Did he love fragrance?
You know what? I was so young, I don't remember if he did or not. He passed when I was about 15.
Even then, I can smell my grandfather, and it's not necessarily a fragrance.
But he made his own stuff. I can't replicate because his cream was his own fragrance.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, do you know what it was? Like, what does it remind you of? And have you tried to like remember him in a fragrance?
Every time I smell a cream, I try to see if it triggers something in my brain. And that brings out something. I'm glad you said that, Danielle, because one of the things that I was talking to some of the folks that buy my stuff, one of my goals, I know we can talk about this later, but I'll just do it now because I'm riddled with ADD, you know, something shiny. That's me, right? Super riddled with ADD. But it's in my head, one of the things I would love to do in the future, and this is, I know we talked about, you know, where do you want to go in the future with this, and you've asked the folks that have been on here you're interviewing. I want to figure out a way that I can help people with Alzheimer's, right? Trigger something that before Alzheimer's took over, right? Mm-hmm. Let's just say they had Alzheimer's when they got Alzheimer's when they were 60 and they don't remember anything after 65. If they wore something like when they were 50 years old, I would love to know if there's something I can create that they smell, and then all of a sudden their brain switches from 65 years old to 50, and all of a sudden they are living as they were 50 years old again, and then they remember all their families and their daughters and their sons, and they're talking with a conversation as if nothing had happened. So because we know that, you know, Alzheimer patients, what's unique is that they can recall songs. When they can't remember anything else, they can sing songs, they can sing hymns, they can sing their favorite, you know.
They can play them on instruments.
Yeah. And no one knows why that is, but something triggers it, and it has not, the disease has not gotten to that part of the brain to keep them from remembering, because they do remember. So I would love to be able to figure out if there's something I could do in the future to trigger that remembrance, you know, and then that fragrance journey is actually a journey that actually has a purpose other than making people feel good and be comfortable and, you know, in different difficult settings or feel confident. But you spray something on to someone who has a disease that their families have been praying for, and boom, they're back and they remember your name, you know? So.
Well, they have music therapy. They have all these different types of therapy. Maybe there should be some fragrance therapy. And I know that we have in the group, we have some mental health professionals. And I know that I have some customers, actually. One had purchased a mystery set from us about a month ago. And, you know, we sent out some stuff. She had no idea what she was getting. And she was in a session with somebody in a full-blown manic attack. And out of nowhere, like that mania broke for a second, and he commented on the fragrance that she was wearing, you know, that we had sent her, and was like, "Oh, you smell nice." And then it was like, as quickly as he broke it, it went right back into hysteria. But he had a quick break. And so she found that to be obviously very, you know, very telling. And she said, there's something here. So along the same lines of you, like, I know that there are people currently that we work with and are in this group that have that mental health background. And I'm sure it could be a coalition formed. We could probably all put something together and put some time and energy towards that, because I mean, I have family that I'm sure we're all touched by Alzheimer's and dementia, you know, and you don't have to look too far. It's less than a full degree of separation for most, I'm sure. So that's beautiful. And I'm absolutely touched, and I'd love to be on board with whatever, you know, you can figure out in the future.
Awesome.
Well, I wanted to ask you, with these kids in seminary, how are they reacting to your perfumery? And I mean, because, you know, kids I meet always want to go to court with Miss Danielle. They want to go to deposition with Miss Danielle. I could imagine, like, if I knew somebody was making perfume, I would be in the lab. Like, I would so want to be in the lab.
Okay, great question. And it's funny that you said that, because I put on my video the other day, It was on on my Facebook page, an experience I had on one of the ones, I don't have it in front of me, but it's called Tobacco Sky Absolute.
Yes.
And
I
so
had my 3 favorites, by the way, and we're going to talk about them.
good.
Because after I, I don't know were you around when I had my whole attack and I was scared of you.
I heard about it.
But I
heard about that.
I hold on for y'all. I hold on for y'all. I worked through it, and we're gonna talk about it. So, but that's beautiful. The tobacco is beautiful. Anyway, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah. So the kids know that when they come into class, the class is going to smell good, because you know how churches are. Because we meet in the church, and sometimes churches don't have very good ventilation.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's been a whole bunch of people there with sit up stink, stand up stink, and sit down stink, and not.
What kind of church is it?
What kind of church? It's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Christian church, yeah. And so there's not a lot of ventilation. It's an older building. Okay. So it's not like you have the like in the newer houses where you have the old air coming in and old air going out. And sometimes you walk in there, you're like, man. But when I get in there, before I get in, I'm in the car, I pop, a couple sprays in there. And so I walk down the hallway and I kind of make sure that the hallway that leads to the classroom smells really nice. And so when I get in the class, we're there about 15 minutes early. It kind of envelops the room. And so when the kids come in, they just say, oh, thank goodness he's here, because it smells so much better than all the seats by themselves, just kind of sitting there when you walk in. So the kids love it. I actually have, just last night, one of the kids' dads just made a big old order. And because his son is really big into collecting, he just turned 16 or 17. And so he started his collection. He's a big Creed guy now. And so
where these kids get so much money? Because what are they doing?
Hey, these kids, some of these kids work really hard. The kid who mows my lawn is my daughter number 3, is kind of like her boyfriend / friend. He has his own lawn care business. Okay. He's 17, he just turned 17. He has like 50 or 60 lawns that he does on the weekend, like on Friday night and Saturday morning, all the way to Saturday. And then sometimes he does it Wednesday nights. So he works hard, he hustles. And so these are the kids nowadays that are just hustling, and they have money, and they want to know what they need to do, get some compliments, and grab the attention of the ladies. So that's what they do.
It's, you over here, you was at the sample counter. I was, stealing from my grandmother. I'm just, because, because you don't have to steal it, right? Your grandmother, all you got to do is say you like it, and then she just give it to you. Like, oh, what's that? You want it? Yes, I do. Yeah. Or I also learned, because, my Nana was very much, she was a big Black woman, and she knew I was going to be a big Black woman. And she said, when you find something that fit, get 3. So we ain't got to come back no more. So you would just literally, when you were in Bonwit Teller and Bamberger and Wanamaker's, you don't look to the left or you don't look at the right. Because if you look at it, you must want it, and I'm going to get you 3. So it's just like, okay, I'll take 3 of those. So as a result, my collection of everything grew. And sadly, this takes me, 5 decades later, and I really am going to buy 3 of everything still. I can't seem to break it. But I also share, and Donna and actually most of the folks can agree. I will share anything. Just, everybody's like, oh, it costs this much. Mary, let me just send it to you, because I want everybody to be addicted to everything I'm addicted to. Stanley cups, fragrance, lipstick, just everything that I'm addicted to. Let's just all go down the red.
So we can silently enable her, and that's all. So
I'm like,
okay. But
I just it's slick talking. But anyway.
So, Mikey, can you talk to us a little bit about in the journey, when we talk to other people, we all like to know everybody's successes, but we also like to know some of the challenges that you've come through and how you've overcome them. So some people have said, it was a journey to figure out the right bottle to use, or the correct atomizer, or, packaging has been, an issue for some, or, coming out with something and then not knowing how much to push out at once, and then maybe deadlines being pushed and stuff. So for you and your brand, has there been any challenges like that, or anything else that would be something that we haven't heard before?
That's a great question, but I think you hit every single nail on the head. The packaging, the bottle that I sent yours in, it has a little box with a little bow on it, right? I got that at HEB, which is our little store here.
Oh, I know all about HEB.
You love it. Everyone loves HEB. Okay, so that's where I got my little box. Yes, that little box right there. I don't include fragrances in boxes like that. First of all, it's too big. I need a bigger box than what I have. And I got to the point where I started stressing out so much this last year, trying to find the right box. That was just so crazy. So I ended up going with these. And I'm just got to a point where I'm just a no frills guy. I just want to focus on the fragrance. A lot of people throw boxes away anyway. And it just takes away. And I don't want the focus to be on the presentation. I know that sounds wrong, but everyone loves presentation. I love presentations, but I want people to focus on how they're smelling and if they're happy with it, and it makes them feel more confident, like we were talking about earlier. So,
well, don't tell them that. Tell them that you were really interested in making it recyclable and reusable. So you decided. Tell them that sells better.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So because of the bottle now, the bottles are great. The new bottles are great because I use only pressurized atomizers. Spent the extra on that because I wanted to get that good, beautiful mist that everyone loves. And so because
people are just learning about the mist, and they've been commenting on that. Just generally, they're like, why does this one spray like this and that one? So we've actually had whole discussions about pressurized atomizers. So you out here giving us the Creed experience so that you're the guy that mowed the lawn might buy some of your fragrance. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
Now, for those environmentalists out there, I use wooden caps. There we go. I use wooden caps. They have a little piece of plastic in it, but you didn't see that from me. But I use wooden caps. Okay. So I use beautiful glass, very thick glass bottles, and I use the wooden caps. But again, the presentation, I've struggled with it. So Jess, to answer your question there, yes, it's the presentation. But I think I've made a decision to this point just to keep doing what I'm doing right now. Keep it in the little burlap bag, put a little tag on it, make sure it's nicely packaged up in a box, and then send it out that way. That way, I'm not going to please everybody, and I have to just be true to what I can do right now, and that's what I want to do because it's been about 1.5 years since I officially opened Profum di Toti, and I'm just now getting into the black. Okay, I've been in the red the whole time because it's so expensive to start. If you're actually trying to buy quality oils, quality accords, all this stuff, because let's just say you spend $500 on a whole bunch of accords, and then you sell $500 worth of fragrances. That doesn't come into account how much alcohol you've made, how many bottles, how many times, how many versions of this came out. You could have 10 of these versions, and all that time and effort, you don't pay yourself, right? If you were to pay yourself, you would never ever get out of the funk. So it's just, so that's the other thing. I was never making any money. I was always trying to, whatever money I made, I would just reinvest it back and back and back and back and back and back until I got to the point where I started becoming more familiar with how everything works within the fragrance. And then if it smelled the way I wanted to smell, okay, that one I had dialed in now. Now I'm going to work on something else. And it kind of, the process would kind of start all over again, depending on what the accords were and whatnot. So I'm at the point now to where this last one I just made, I only made a few bottles of it, and I have a whole bunch more of ingredients coming in. We ended up going with this thing called the Passport series. And the Passport series, and I don't even have any samples to give out anymore. I gave those away to a few of you. But it's called Currently in the Islands. And Currently in the Islands is based off of New Zealand. One of my favorite places to visit. It's breathtaking. The views and the smells. And I'll tell you why. My wife is originally from New Zealand. She was born in Wellington, New Zealand. And then when she was younger, they moved to Australia. So she considers herself Aussie unless they're watching rugby. Then she's 100% New Zealander, a Kiwi. Yeah, come on, guys. Yeah, good try. Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah. So she's like really, the accent pops out really heavy.
Did she do the haka when she, or the, is it? Yeah, does she do that for when she's watching?
She won't do it. I'll do it for her, even though I don't know it. But I was like, wow.
Just seems so studly. You're like, I'm a stud. I can do it, right?
Yeah. You know,
I'm trying to like. Look, I think I could do it too. I'm just like, yeah, I definitely. You can get into.
We had a hockey team for youth, and we played in the international hockey tournament, and so the Kiwis, every time they hit the ice, they would do a haka, and it was like almost like a junior Goodwill Olympics type deal. This whole thing, it lasted like 2 weeks, and so by the end of the 2 weeks, it didn't matter if it was Canada, USA, the Aussies, the Japanese, like everyone in center ice was out there like doing the haka. So you said Kiwis and you said rugby. I'm like, I gotta.
It's just beautiful. It just is. It is a beautiful, beautiful ritual of togetherness. It's just beautiful.
It is. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal, and that's it's kind of like how I wanted to bring the New Zealand into a fragrance, right? How could I do that? Because I don't. Have any of you ever been to New Zealand by chance?
Yes,
it's on my list. I didn't get to go.
Okay,
yes.
Danielle,
I was supposed to go.
Danielle, okay. So when you came out of the airport, did you smell diesel? Did you smell all that stuff when you got out of the airport? What did you smell do you remember? Because I remember exactly what I smelled when the first time I walked out of the airport.
See, I don't, because I didn't come in the usual way. We came down, we took the boat over from the Penguins.
Oh.
So I guess it's technically a ship from the Penguins. So I didn't come through the airport. I went back out through the airport.
Gotcha.
So I had an absolutely like aquatic experience, but not only was aquatic, there's so much wildlife there. It's almost underdeveloped. Like and that's what I mean. And I'm just like, this is where the ship comes in. I felt like I just left the Penguins. Y'all sure the Penguins ain't gonna be here on the, like, you know what I mean? It was just it was that wild and overgrown. And then you walk out a half a mile and then you got pavement and things. And that was what was amazing about it, because you would think it would be developed all the way up to the port, but it wasn't.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's so pretty, so beautiful. Like when I got out of the airport and took a deep breath, if you leave Orlando, you come to Orlando airport, you smell the diesel, you smell concrete, you smell everything. Come out of New Zealand, you smell like all these flowers, all this like greenness. You're like, oh my gosh, it smells incredible. Never have I smelled anything leaving an air or coming from into an airport, sticking my nose out there, and I was like, what is this place? So beautifully.
It doesn't smell developed.
Yeah, it smells so natural. Like nature has never been touched, like you're talking about. And so that's kind of like where this idea came from too. So I started buying all the ingredients from New Zealand, and this one's like a black currant, with the grapefruits and with the peaches and the apple and the woods and kiwi and whatnot. Oh, and so when I gave this to my wife, she was just like super happy, super stoked. My sister-in-law came to, she was, I want a bottle. And so I started making as many bottles as I could, which is only a few. And now this is my next project I have coming out, because it's just something that I want everyone to get a part of and to feel what New Zealand smells like, in my opinion, if it was a fragrance in a bottle. And that's what I'm doing right now. So the Passport series is what I'm working on. Next time, one after this one is going to be Brazil. My daughter leaves for Brazil September 28th. She's going to the Amazon for her mission. So I want to create a fragrance that smells like the Amazon, but I want to tweak it some. So that's going to be the next one in the Passport series. So I'm just trying to figure out what I like and then share it with others. And hopefully it goes well. If not, it's okay, because I like it. I'm happy with it. Right. So that's where we're at. Right?
So I have a suggestion. I would have to double check, because it's been a couple of years. I'm a carpenter. I do construction, and I have in my shop out back, I have a wood shop, and was another passion of mine. Sometimes I like to get out there, and the heat in Florida, so it's more of a winter months when I'm out there working. But I really got into working with exotic woods, And I did get some pieces of wood that I think are Brazilian called kumaru. That's the name of the wood. And when you cut it, it smells to me like Cocoa Puffs. It's the craziest thing. It has this really interesting chocolatey smell. I think that was from Brazil. So I'll have to look into that because if I still have some of that out there, I'll have to send you a small block of it, and you can kind of play around with that. I've never seen that wood in fragrance, but it has a very distinct, interesting flavor. I say flavor because it smelled like Cocoa Puffs. But yeah, it has a very distinct signature scent. So I'll have to look in. If that came from Brazil, that'd be an interesting one to kind of play around with to see if you could use a native wood in your base.
I wrote it down. I will be looking for that tonight, as a matter of fact. So if not, I'll see if someone made something that has the accords and that has that scent profile. I'll just get it from them. But that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's a really cool looking wood too. Like I said, I think I still have some in my shop out there. If I can dig it out, I'll send you a sample of it, and you can actually kind of take a look at just the color of it. I really love those exotic woods. There's a shop not far from here. I say shop, but it's basically a glorified pole barn. But all they do is specialize in hardwood. So I've had a lot of exposure to stuff, lace wood and things like that. A lot of those rainforest woods.
So, question for you then on that kumaru is when you're cutting it up, does it bleed like a sappiness, or is it oily at all, or is it super dry?
So everything, when you're buying it already, like 5/4, already stock slabs, it's usually kiln dried. I would assume that you can get it where it's oily and sappy, but you would have to try to source it, closer to where they're harvesting.
I'll do it.
Well, I'm jumping in here because Michelle just said, I want you to keep working on the caramel aquatic.
Oh, yes.
And I am immediately interested.
Okay, Michelle, she got me.
So tell me about this caramel. We do love like when it's really, really interesting. So, I mean, that's interesting. So tell us about caramel aquatics.
I'm still working on that. And so I'm waiting for a couple more new ingredients to come. So Michelle, yes, I'm still working on that. And so, okay, a caramel aquatic came to my mind a couple months ago, and I wasn't sure how I was going to do it because I haven't seen anybody come out with anything like this. Some of you love caramel, and I've never been able to really create a gourmand fragrance that no one else has smelled before. But remember at the beginning, I talked about how everything I'm doing now has to be in the background, has to have this aquatic nature to it. So that's my goal with this one, is to create a caramel fragrance with like a beach in the background. So when you combine the two, you don't get the overly sweet caramel, but you get the saltiness of the ocean. You get everything that you would have if you were at the beach. So there'd be fruits if someone's drinking a cocktail, right? So it'd be like let's just say coconut or whatever it is from the suntan lotion. All those things I wanted to incorporate into this caramel ocean. So when you're spraying it, you're going to get the fruits. You're going to get all those beautiful accords of the ocean. But at the same time, it's not going to be overpowering on the gourmand side of it. Does that make any sense? I still want you guys to have something that's completely unique and different, that's wearable, and it's going to last. And the one I've been playing with lately, it's over there somewhere, but it lasted 16 hours on my skin. And I think that's a little too long for people. You can't really wear it to the office. You're going to walk in and you're going to be glowing and people are going to kick you out. So I need to tone it down a little bit. And so one of the accords is called sotanol. Mm-hmm. And so sotanol is what they used in Kerosene Followed. If you're familiar with kerosene.
Well, nobody wants to be followed to the ends of the earth.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's a nuclear scent.
I mean, it's
exactly right.
It's but we need to tell you, there is a fragrance that Justin found for us, and the entire intrigue in the house was they wanted to be a vanilla aquatic. Exactly. So this led us down the rabbit hole that is the House of Saloon. And the interesting thing was when they finally got to it, the one that they didn't get to smell was Vanilla Monsoon. That is what it's called. So there were quite a few hits in the house, but when we finally got our noses on Vanilla Monsoon, that's the thing. Like we all immediately thought gourmand, but she's so aquatic. You get the saltiness, you get the air, you get the sea. So I mean, if you can give us some caramel aquatic, we'll be quite happy to go down that rabbit hole with you.
Perfect. And we'll do it. Michelle, we'll do it, Michelle. Okay.
But if you take in request, so there's this scent that
no.
Tier top. All tier top.
No.
Well, let me tell you what I'm doing to kind of tone it down because everyone knows how caramel can be. So I have here some Vanilla Absolute. Have you guys ever smelled Vanilla Absolute?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. It doesn't smell like your typical vanilla, right? No. It has a woodsiness to it. It has a beautiful. So I've been using some Vanilla Absolute with it, and it's just a game changer. So a lot of times, if you add Vanilla Absolute to something that might be too sweet or too powerful, it kind of has a unique blend, and so it kind of creates its own type of accord. So with this caramel type maple background and with a little bit of this, it's creating its own unique scent profile, right? And so that as we're adding these like the saltiness and I actually have one that's rain, like a rain scent. I'm adding that to it, and with all the fruits and whatnot, it's something so unique right now. But I feel like I'm missing a few things which I'm ordering, which should be here next week to add to it. So Michelle and I meet every once in a while. We meet up and I have her test them for me because she doesn't live far from where I am. So she's kind of like my nose. So I will get with you as soon as it's ready. And I need you to tell me what you think because she got the first part of it, but there was a few things missing. And so adding a little bit of this to it this time and these other notes I have coming, it's going to be a game changer. Danielle, I'm telling you, it's going to be fire. It's going to be absolutely like nothing else that anyone has ever smelled before. And it's going to be super wearable. And when someone smells it for the first time and then smells it again later, they'll know exactly where it came from because no one else is going to have anything like this.
So how do we get to be on the nose panel from now on?
Well, you
got to go to Texas.
Are you accepting applications? Like, what do we have to do to be considered?
Well, I guess. I can send you a sample and you can tell me, but I need some really solid feedback, right? This is the thing. And I love when people say, you know what? I'm not a yes man or a yes woman. I love when they say, okay, this is what it's missing. This is what's going for it. This is what I think it needs. I take all of that information and I put it down and I say, okay, where can I meet everything in the middle? Mm-hmm. And I take it from there. I'm not a prideful dirtbag to where I'm thinking your opinion doesn't matter. Your opinion doesn't matter. Yes, I make what I like, but I want to hear that. I want to hear whatever it is that my nose doesn't detect that yours might. That might actually create a brand new aura of what that fragrance does. A brand new sillage that's not out there right now. And that's it. And that's why I think indie houses are so fun. Because if you reach out to other indie houses, we try to make things that no one else has, that no one else has gotten their nose on before, because we're not afraid to fail, because it's not failing to us. To us, it's just having fun and making something that's completely unique. So
you do not have to sell so many units to make back your research, your R&D cost, and your sourcing cost, and your marketing cost. So it does not have to be mass appealing. If 20 people like it, it's a win.
Yeah.
If 20 people like it, it's a win. So
and it's fun. If it's fun and people enjoy it, win. That's a win. So that's what we're trying.
So how long does it take you on average? So you said you got what, 7, 9 references currently?
Let's see, 3, 6, 7. This only have 7, but I actually have more that I just haven't come out with yet. Some of this,
okay.
Going to be some
more. So does that include the 3 that are like limited edition? When you say you have 7, does that the 3 that are limited? Okay, I'm just making sure.
Okay, yes. Yeah, I thought so. I spent some time on the website preparation, but So what would you say is the average from like conception, starting with your idea for a fragrance, to when you think it's ready to bring it to market? I mean, I know you have like version 3.2 on your desk of whatever over there, but I mean, is it 6 months? Is it a year? Like, is it 3 months? Is it like Jerian, who could do something in 15 minutes? He told us, like, on average for those, like, what is it?
Great question. Let's see if I have a sample here. I should have just had some stuff ready to go. So that's a great question. So Tobacco Sky Absolute was something I started back about a year and 9 months ago ish. And
Okay.
I just wasn't happy with it. So I'd keep on going, let it sit, keep on going, add something new to it. So it took 9 months for that one to come out, right? Before I was happy with it. Now, there was one that was basically a mistake that I did by accident, that my wife, when she smelt it, she was like, give me a bottle now. And she's on her 4th now. And that's Luxury is Opulence.
My favorite.
Oh, is that your favorite?
That's my favorite. There you go. So
that was like 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Because I was adding.
Not 99 notes. It's not 99 notes.
No, I was doing these.
Luxurious opulence. It is. It is.
I was just doing that.
Well, she wears a long time. She doesn't become a skin scent. I get all. I think there's only like 4 notes in it.
Yeah.
I get every single one, and she's not linear. So that's my. See, there you go.
That was a mistake. It's literally, guys, I was doing one of these.
It was a heavy mistake.
And I went like this. I did something. I think the dog might have been trying to come in there. It's like, no, I did one of those. And my wife says, oh, and she comes walking in. She says, let me smell that. She goes, make me a bottle. So that's how it started. 10 minutes later. I mean, I just got started with that thing. And then it turned out to be a molecular fragrance, because there was nothing in there that could be oil. Really. I was just like, oh my gosh. She's gone, this is her 4th bottle of it. And it lasts and it smells phenomenal. So you have one of those things where it could be 10 minutes like that, but usually it's at least 3 months or so.
Okay.
And then it goes from there, depending on what's in it and how long it has to mature with all the ingredients together. And then it has to macerate after you add the alcohol to it. So I let mine spin, for example. If I have one of these, let me just grab it. Like this right here is Sabrosa, the one that I'll be giving away. This one's ready to go now, but this one will be spinning, for example, because I have a little magnetic spinner in there. It'll be spinning for like a week straight, right? As it's macerating. And now let it sit for a week. Now let it spin for another week. But it's ready to go now. But so it all depends on what's in it, right? But that's how it comes up. It's all different. Each one is different. But at the end of the day, they all perform.
I am so juvenile right now, because all now I can think about is rims. They spinning, baby. They spinning. Like, seriously, that's immediately. I am clearly 12. Because, I mean, now my brain is, because I never knew they were on spinners. So this is new information for me. That's how you macerate them. I've never known that before.
Yeah. So this one right here is I just made 1 bottle's worth. It's not going to be very accurate, because I need to make about 10 times this to be able to put all the ingredients. So you can see that little magnet. So I have a little magnet. It's kind of stuck to the table, but it goes right in the middle, turns it on, and it spins it right there. It makes a little water tornado, whatever you want to call it. And that's how I mix it up really well. And I do that for hours and days at a time just to get it ready.
So, Mikey, we've been talking about a lot about stuff that's coming, but since you just showed us that bottle that's ready, why don't we talk about Sabrosa? Because this is your newest release, right?
It's not my newest. It's my most popular right now.
Okay. So we're gonna spray some too, just so we can smell along.
All right. So Sabrosa is probably one of my favorites. I mean, I can't say it's one of my favorites because all of them are basically my favorites.
It's like your kids. You don't have you can't not love all of them. But there's one that definitely like gets you at your heartstrings every day.
Yeah, this one is good. It's one that is so good. I'll tell you what happened the first time I wore this. I was at the grocery store. Make sure my wife's not listening. I was at the grocery store, and she was putting the groceries in the van, and I was pushing the cart back into place. And as I'm pushing the cart back into place, I was wearing Sabrosa. and a wind came blowing behind me, and there was a lady getting into her car, and she was getting into her car, and she did one of these. She gets up to and gets back up, and then she comes walking to me, and she goes, boy, you smell delicious. And my wife's like,
trying to holler in the parking lot.
In the park, my wife's like, what? And of course, I'm just like, oh, thank you. You know, it's just this cold stuff, bro. Side. This little something I'm just dabbling. She's like, it smells good. And my wife's like, you stop wearing that. You're not wearing that anymore. When we work together. I was like, oh, it's just great. I love I love to make sure that people like it. But yeah, that got me in trouble. So, but also for those of you who are listening, I'll read the notes because it's so good. All right, so the top notes, and maybe you guys want to kind of tell me what you're smelling, and I'll kind of just.
So for me, am I smelling mint in this?
I just want to notice that, you know, now you had an opportunity to not kill me. You didn't send me any of this. I'm just saying, because I've read the notes about this and I knew what you sent. And I was like, okay, of course they don't send me this one when I'm not going to die, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's what really, I mean, you say just a little bit, but honestly, for me, that's what I really pull out. I really get that because it's such a light, it smells mildly cold. Ooh. You know, for me, I get that, and it's not like a menthol and not like a chewing gum, just like a mojito.
Thank you. Yes, great nose, perfect, because that is the lime. Okay, there's a beautiful lime in there. So this is the top notes: mandarin, cognac, bourbon, coconut, and lime.
That's bourbon and cognac.
So you have that because that's the booziness that you kind of smell on the top, right? It kind of pops, okay? And then you get the drunken florals, which I made this with. It was my own little accord there, but drunken florals, and then you'll get
You held that up like we know what that was. I made this.
Oh, that was the one I had earlier.
That's a new one.
The 3.2.
No, so that's the Sub Rosa? No.
No, that's
a new one. He's talking
about the one that we're not allowed to know about yet, that you just talked about earlier. Just making sure I'm keeping up.
Good.
You over there like a crackhead with your own fragrance. Stop it.
I am. I'm like.
Well, that's right. If you don't like you, then ain't nobody else.
More of that drunken florals, you know, type of thing. But yeah, I got drunken florals in it. So the oil that I made this with was my drunken florals in that sabrosa. And there's orange blossom and there's some like Georgia peach.
I definitely get the orange blossom on my skin anyway.
Oh, good.
Yeah, 100%.
And then in the base, they got the ambroxan, some vanilla, sandalwood, brandy, a little bit of vetiver, just a tiny bit of vetiver.
So 3 different liquors. Like so you mean I'm a drunk.
The level of alcoholic she is. I mean, it's like her spidey sense is like.
Where's the champagne?
But she wants to know why there's no champagne.
So see, it's interesting because on the paper, I don't get the orange as much as I get it on the skin. It really does shine through on the skin.
It's my perfectly pH balanced.
It's her perfectly pH balanced skin.
For a man, but pH balance for a woman. Remember that commercial?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, I can definitely smell the orange more predominantly on skin.
We need to know about Sabrosa Night. She was like, yeah, okay, that's nice, but Sabrosa Nights is her favorite.
Oh, it's so good.
And I'm actually very interested in with the fact that there are dark liquors in the top. It's not a heavy,
right?
Or so it's not heavy or dense. And people that are, that have a large collection have exposure should understand what I mean to that. If you are newer to fragrance, by heavy I mean more of a fall winter scent. It's very, you can feel it. Dense is just, how thick that is coming off, how that oil settles on the skin. And it's neither heavy nor dense, which is something that you wouldn't typically, if you were just reading the notes, seeing 2 dark liquors in the top would go, oh, maybe this is more of like a cold weather thing, but you don't, this is very light, very summery.
Well, also, generally, when we're talking about the summer scents and we're starting to talk about things that are tropical and fruity, we don't get the brown liquors. We get rum, we get gin, we even get vodka, because they're changelings. They don't really have such a nuanced scent profile themselves. So the fact that you've got 3 dark liquors with very distinct scent profiles themselves and you're adding that to fruit to make it into a summery fragrance. And I've got to know, is your aquatic note there?
Yes, it's in the background.
So, I mean, sounding kind of fabulous. But now I got to know why Sabrosa Nights is still Michelle's favorite. Being that Michelle's the one who introduced us to you, you know, she's the expert. So you got to answer all of Michelle's questions.
Yeah.
It's cool.
All right. So Sabrosa
see, the lime is really coming through a lot on this too.
Yeah.
The lime is, and I would, you know, I think just so people understand, well, I would 100% agree that there's definitely that aquatic vibe to it, but I think that some people get turned off by the term aquatic because of primarily Megamare. You know, I mean,
I can see that.
Yeah, when you think of Megamare, I mean, it's just too powerful. A lot of people gravitate away from those really strong nuclear scents because they don't like that marine profile. But I guess, yeah, I aquatic but not marine.
That's a great way of putting it. Yeah, that's
yeah.
I like.
So it's not
aquatic but not marine. It's wet, but it's not. It's not that seaweed.
Yeah, it's not like a Pacific Rock moss, but it could be something like Bohemian lime and salt had a baby.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool.
Aquatic but not marine.
Aquatic but not marine. I like that. Hold up. Let me note that down. Aquatic but not marine.
See, this is why I said you might want him on the panel.
That's true. I like it. You're selling me on that. All right, aquatic but not marine.
Okay. All right, so Sabrosa Nights. What do we need to know about that one? How much? What's different?
So you still have the same DNA, right? You still have the same DNA as Sabrosa. So
Which came first, Sabrosa?
Sabrosa did.
Okay.
Sabrosa was first. So you think about Sabrosa, you have the booziness, right? You have the tropical. So imagine Sabrosa, but the tropicals are toned way, 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 way down. They're like basically in the background. Right, so the lime, the orange, it's all in the background, and then I introduced 3 different tobaccos.
Oh yeah, this is my speed right here.
Oh, is that your kind of thing?
Yeah, this is my speed. So we're going to Cuba now. We going to Cuba.
I got Cuban tobacco in there. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. See, this is my speed. This is where I am with it. You know,
okay.
but also generally I like what's considered more of a masculine leaning scent.
Okay.
But it's only because of my profession. They're easier to wear in a male-dominated profession.
It's a power play when you wear it too. I get it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm here.
So you will, yes, and so you'll like these notes. Okay, these are the notes: tobacco leaf, mandarin, cognac, bourbon, coconut, and lime. Now remember, the ratios are way lower, so it's way in the background. And then you have Cuban tobacco, you have apple, you have rose and cherry blossom.
Yeah.
Okay, and then at the base we have the Isui Super. You have a little bit of Hedione, which kind of could be a mid note. But I like to call it like more of a base note because I think it lasts a lot longer than a mid note. And the ambroxan, some sweet tobacco, vanilla, sandalwood, and some brandy.
Yeah. So like Sabrosa, like they would definitely, you could do those like MFK did like Petit Matin and Grand Soir and make them a day. You know, that was the idea that they were supposed to be complementary. So you start in the day and then you move to like the evening. And that was supposed to be what it is. It's a day.
Like what this is.
Right. That's so this is what this sounds like. It's a whole day. But you know, it's me. I would bring the nighttime to the day. But for the other people, they might, you know.
Or it's when I take Oud Satin Mood and put it over mango skin to bring my day to night.
Yes. That was one of the first tricks that Jess told me about.
Oud Satin Mood, you said?
So if I'm wearing mango skin like during the day, and I want to take it, you know, from daytime to nighttime, I'll throw Oud Satin Mood over it. And it brings it to that brings it to I'm gonna ditch my flip-flops and put my heels on. And maybe I don't have time to ditch my bikini, but I'm gonna put like my, you know, dress on, but I can go dancing. So Sabrosa to Sabrosa Nights might work the same way.
And so for me, I do Creed Delphinus, and then when it gets late, I add oud extra because I'm super extra.
I like that.
I take it super dark.
So you like, okay. Okay, because I got some stuff I've been working on. So I also have this is my dark version of Sabrosa. And this is, I haven't come out with it yet. It's probably in the winter time because it's really dark. It's Sabrosa Whispers Noir. So it's good. I mean, it's got
you add some wood to it because that's the only thing that can make it better. It's like put some wood in. Now
this has the ginger in it. This has the
make it spicy, baby. I like that.
It's spicy. It has the red pepper. It has the what is that? It has, oh my gosh, that's just going with our mind. But the other stuff is vanilla absolute, Indonesian patchouli in here too. Rose absolute.
Yes, you were absolutely speaking my
language. Ylang, geranium, a whole bunch of different woods. Oh yeah, teak and mahogany. But the spiciness is due to the ginger. So I've been wearing this thing like crazy. I don't care if it's summertime or not. This is beautiful. But
so you
mentioned dark.
That's another version of Sabrosa, which this obviously is a summer leaning scent. It's a noir version, so it's more at the like an end of the year cooler weather. But you said geranium, so are you using the geranium for a salt effect?
So
to keep it kind of in that same category of.
Actually, I'll just give you a little secret here. It's this right here, called Calone. Calone is that a little bit of that aquatic feel that you can add to it, depending on your ratios, without overbearing it, and it kind of gives you that in the background. It's really nice, depending on how you use it, and it kind of acts like a musk in some ways, depending on your ratios. Yeah. Oh, and speaking of Sabrosa again. Sabrosa Summer. I can't. This is a sample of it. This is Sabrosa Summers.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So I'm working on, and it's basically done. I have the formula and everything. I'm starting to make it next week. It's for the summertime. It's for like a July release. It's Sabrosa Summer. So imagine Sabrosa just with all the citruses popping out and just a little tiny bit of the booze in the background. And that's it. It's just a super bright, effervescent summer scent for Sabrosa.
You should put some champagne in it.
You like that champagne, don't you? I know you do like that.
You put
some patchouli and
saffron
and a little bit of leather.
And then you should just take out some of this. And she's going to say, oh, well, yeah, let's just take out this and put in this. And eventually all of your original notes are going to be gone. And it's just going to be Danielle's formulation left on the page.
What she's going to do is she's just going to send me a bottle of her favorite wine. And I'm just going to have to make that.
I could do that.
I know you.
I mean, I'm available for
your favorite champagne. Here it is.
It's like, I need you to get right on it, because I'm actually trying to explain to Moet and Chandon they need to add some Cristal 5-star to that. So if they just mix them together, they would finally get it right.
That's actually, I mean, maybe I can work on something.
I'm just saying. I'm trying to give y'all some ideas that be palatable to masses, also known as me. You just said if 20 people like it, it's a win. I can make 20 people like it. I mean, I can show it to 20 people and they will like it.
Now listen to this, and I do this quite a bit. I just don't tell anybody about it because it's not really something I promote.
Child, they will inundate you with that. You would do nothing else.
So this is the thing. I make custom fragrances for people.
I just said don't tell nobody because they will inundate you with that. Just tell me.
I know they do. I make custom fragrances.
Hey, just tell me.
So I do for like weddings and whatnot. So I do the his and her together. And I got a buddy who used to play in the NFL, and so I made stuff for him, and he gets it to his buddies, and so I make them for them too. And so whatever they tell me that they want, I kind of create that on the side too. So that's another fun part of this hobby. It's just
you should charge them a lot. Charge them for your hourly rate too.
Oh, I have to charge because I have to send so many samples off.
Yeah, you have to charge a lot for that. Yeah. That should be a lot because you can do that at Gerlaine, and I had the experience at Gerlaine, and it is $1,700, 1,700 euros to do it, and then it's $900 for the bottle.
Kriegler does it too. If you're ever in Dallas, I know you're in Houston area, but go to the Kriegler in Dallas, and you can get a custom scent from them too. And I think it starts, in multiple thousands. Let's just say that.
I'm just saying.
For the costs that you would pay them, he could buy all the stuff, just make 50 bottles of his own.
Well, no, I'm just saying. I'm saying if he wants to see what they're doing, like
it's so expensive though.
But there are boutiques.
I mean, Mikey Blaylock ain't gonna charge their Lane and Kriegler prices, but I mean, you need to know. You need to know.
Yeah.
Because one day, I'm trying to tell you, we're gonna come back in like 5 years, and then we're gonna say, "I knew you win," and I'm gonna hold up my custom bottle that you made for me, for free $99, and I'm gonna be like, this is one of the first iterations, and and I'll be out here, not putting it on eBay, just so you know, because I wouldn't do that to you.
Michelle said there's a Kriegler in Houston, so you guys could go meet there.
Yeah.
Kriegler in Houston?
Yes.
Okay.
Michelle,
send me the link.
Go together and do some video when y'all get there. Seriously. It's gonna knock you off your socks. Knock your socks off.
Yeah, they've been around for a really, really long time. So like Jackie O used to wear them, Daniel Craig wears them, JFK, Ernest Hemingway, yeah,
they are the perfumer to the stars. They started in New York at the Waldorf Astoria. That was their first location.
Interesting.
It's fabulous, fabulous, fabulous.
Michelle said it's at the Four Seasons.
Oh, thank you.
Four Seasons.
I just remember. Oh, it's at the Four Seasons in Houston.
In Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sharp. We just talked to Sharper recently, and he was just there.
He was there on Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, he said
like, all I got to do is get $2,000 to get half a bottle.
Hey, Zernell's in the group.
Hey, Zernell.
Zernell. Zernell, I got a bone to pick with you.
Oh, here we go.
It is Sunday. What is it? April 27th, and I smell like last week, y'all. Last week. I don't smell like this week. I smell like last week. Even though I placed my bottle of my order for R&B. Let me tell you how I was in court when they told me that it went live. And I was like, Your Honor, I need to take a convenience break. And I was in the bathroom ordering your fragrance so I could be at the front of the line, and all the admins got their bottle. And I don't have my bottle. I'm just over here, and it's just sitting there, and it's just spinning. It's just a spinning. It's out there macerating wherever it is. So it better be good when it get here. And I just want you to know that, because my feelings are hurt. Because I don't like being at the back of the line. Okay, because I'm gonna tell you, I feel like you racist. Okay, I just want you to know that, because the white people got theirs first, plus Derek.
Plus Derek. Plus Derek. Oh man.
I just want you to know that, Zernell.
I need to get my nose on that.
I'm fiending, baby. I'm fiending. And and I didn't buy nothing else last week. I bought nothing. I was just ready for this R&B to come in. But it's okay, because Niles blessed me with another bottle of St. John, and so now it's all mine, and I don't have to share that anymore. So there. But I just need you to know that. And that's how I'm going to be about your when I make this order, Mikey. I better get mine first. I better not hear nobody out here talking about they got them some Sabrosa Summers, and I don't have no Sabrosa Summers, okay? Because I just cannot be at the back of the line.
I feel you.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. Priority. Your priority.
That's all.
You'll be priority.
Now I done said my piece.
Laura would like to tell you that she's a white girl and she didn't get hers either.
Ooh.
So
we ain't talking about you.
But anyways, let's get back to Mikey and his fragrances. Zernell, we're happy that you took time away. I know he's got like 100.
I know, and he's got 100
probably going tonight.
Like I said, Mikey, you're gonna be there. I'm gonna be somewhere yelling at you about how I didn't get my bottle because you got 1,000 bottles ordered in the last 5 days, and I'm pretend to be mad, but I'm really gonna just be proud.
But I do want to say how awesome that is. That's what I love, is that Zernell had a big drop, and he's got so many orders out, but he's taken time to come and support you. And Jerian was on today, and he was watching, and I love how the synergy is and that you guys truly support each other. And there is nothing like that out there, you know, in the world that's more important than that anyway. So thank you for, you know, everybody supporting each other.
It is.
You know,
awesome. I mean, it's the best thing about FragCon, just period. I mean, it is truly the community aspect of it. You know, when you know, we've got Lorenzo Pizzaglia coming on, and you know, to watch Niles so excited that, you know, we landed the interview. Or like, you know, when I talked to Jerian about, you know, what you were doing, he's like immediately on your website. Just, you know, I mean, it is like, it's just so special. Or, you know, even Michaela Mazzetti introducing us to other fragrances, you know, like, you know, it just, I don't know. It's just really, really great that we all understand that there's a whole pie and not just a slice that everybody's fighting over.
Yeah. And I think that's the difference between indie perfumers and designer fragrances and whatnot. You know, we don't gatekeep. So, you know, for example, like, I don't know how many people are on the watching this right now, but I love guys like Hez Parfum. He lives probably about a half hour away from me, but I'm happy when because I have some of his fragrances. I love sharing his fragrances with others. I think that he's so talented, and guys like that, and guys like Janelle, if you got something that's so good, especially with guys who are just learning, and we're doing this because out of love, not because it's our main thing, but why not share it? Is it going to take sales away from me? I don't care. I love his fragrance.
Take sales away from you. It's really not. That's the thing. It doesn't. You know what? I think actually, honestly, I think it gets you more sales. As I said earlier, people go buy things from people that they don't like. So knowing that you genuinely love fragrance, makes you love your fragrance more.
Yes. Share it with others. You know, find someone that does a great job of something. Let people know what you found and support them. Do it.
It's great. I think it's just really, really great. So on that note, what's up next? Like, you know, we've talked all about these flankers for Sabrosa.
Yeah, it's true. There's so many of them now.
Flankers.
Well, we've got a caramel aquatic.
Yes.
And we have
a champagne scent. What?
we have an embodiment of New Zealand. He's like the prince of fragrance. He's got 800 recipes in a safe somewhere, so they're just going to be coming out for years.
I have a lot here that I haven't come out with. I keep on, and that's why I love, if you're in the area and I'm able to meet, I love meeting with folks, and then, you know, bringing these I haven't even come out with yet and say, okay, what do you think about this and this, right? It helps me out because sometimes I might think yes, and then someone else says, no, it's not going to work. I dump it. It's gone. I don't mess with it. It saves money for me from buying all these ingredients I don't need, or whatever the case is. And just, I want something that I like and that everyone else can enjoy too. Right. So that's what I'm looking for. But yeah, right now it's the Passport series, is the currently Currant, like black currant, currently in the islands, which is that New Zealand one. And then there's the Caramel Ocean. And then there's the Amazon.
Oh, we got a name. Did y'all write that down?
There you go. And then there's the other Passport one that's coming out, and it'll probably be out like 6 months or so. I already have an idea what I want it in it, so it's all in my head. I just got to put it into liquid form, and that's going to be the Amazon de Brazil. I don't have a name for it yet, but I think I'm going to call it like Amazon Waterfall or something. I don't know.
Have you ever been to the Amazon?
No.
I've been to the Amazon, not in Brazil, but on the other side, and it's definitely something crazy.
Is it?
So,
what would you think it smells like if you could describe it? Because I know it doesn't smell like New Zealand from what I hear. You know, it's not like going to the South Island or anything like that.
It's like the wettest wood.
Yeah. A lot of type. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me kind of think about that. I'm going to go through all my pictures and my videos so that I can kind of get right back there. But yeah, I mean, I spent a few days out there.
Nice. Well,
let me put a pin in that, and I'll get back to you.
I don't know if because when I think Amazon, I think wet bugs. So, like,
wet bugs.
I don't like. That's what I just think, wet bugs. So, don't ask me.
Jessica wants to know if you dream about your perfumes and your ingredients. Like, does that where your concepts come from? Are they dreams?
I've had it happen a few times, yes, but not all the time. Most of the time, I'm looking through. I'll go to like the where all the fragrances are, like where I can buy fragrances. I just read everything, and something clicks in my head. It says, "I love that. Sounds great." Or if I don't know what that note is, and it really kind of just bugs me, I say to myself, I'm just gonna whatever that is, whatever it smells like when I order it, I'm gonna create something around that. I don't even know what it is, but I'm gonna make something work around that, and that's how I do it.
Okay.
Nothing special.
Cool.
And what sizes do your bottles come in?
Only 30s right now. Only 30s.
That's fine. We just need to know. And you have a discovery set that they can buy online?
So I haven't put it online yet because this is the annoying part. And if you have anybody out there make any, what do you call those things? The stickers that, what do you call these type of, because this is actually a sticker. It's not like, it's
like a placard?
Not like a placard. It's kind of where you put the plastic on and then you pull it off really slowly, like a peel.
Oh, yeah.
Transfer sticker.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a whole bunch of these, and they're so tiny. It takes me literally 10 minutes to pull it off the plastic before I can even put it on this without missing 17 letters.
I have a solution for you.
What is that? A stamp?
You have all of these 17 to 19-year-olds that could literally be your interns and do that for some sort of credit for seminary.
That's true, but where are they going to? Yeah, but I still need to find out where I can get them. I got this from from Etsy. I don't know who else really makes these. I haven't really looked.
What about Vistaprint or something like that? They don't have
DTR transfer.
DTR transfer.
Apparently, Derek knows about it. A DTR transfer.
Yeah, I feel your pain because I have a small tabletop plotter cutter. So I do again, with my wood shop, I wanted something that I could cut stencils with, so that way I could do like paint projects on these wood projects that I was doing. So I actually got a small tabletop plotter cutter, and when you get into cutting vinyl or things like that very small and then trying to transfer it, it really does. It's a nightmare sometimes, because if it doesn't quite stick to the surface and then pulls off, then it shifts that letter just a little bit. Then you're using a tweezer and a magnifying glass to try to reset it. It's a pain.
Yes, this U looks like an O. Yeah, it's like, man, it's so difficult.
Somebody in this group is going to be a master with a Cricut and is going to be able to figure this out.
It's still hard.
I'm just saying. I'm sure there's an answer.
I have an easier answer, which is go to like Vistaprint and have them print you just cards and just Scotch tape them right onto that box lid. A little bit of packing tape over the top of it, you'll be good. There you go.
Yeah, Sam agrees. It's a Cricut machine. Someone's got to be a master.
I have one. I know how to use. I'm telling you,
Sam said she's you might be able to work out a deal.
Sam,
yeah.
Sadiqa Rivera. She's a crafter.
Put you guys in touch.
Yeah, she said I may be able to work out a deal over here.
This is the other thing. If anybody out there knows how to make labels, because right here, okay, this is how ghetto I am. Okay, it's because I don't know. This right here, this little thing is I make it on PowerPoint, right? I make a whole bunch, print them up, and then I put glue on them from using this glue stick. Put it on.
Oh, you're just like, dude, what is you doing?
I don't know. I just make the juice. Juice.
You better ask them.
Minimum.
Bet you them kids know the answer, dude. Like, really?
And so, Mikey, $15 on Amazon.
What is
100? That? It's a printer. It's a thermal printer for labels. $15 on Amazon. I run it with my phone. Bzzz, just fires them out.
You send me that link.
Yeah, 100%. One of the best investments we ever made.
It takes me
honestly,
so long.
probably the best person to ask really is probably Derek, because
Derek does make beautiful labels.
Yeah, he makes
beautiful. Derek does make some beautiful
labels.
The
answer is to talk to Derek. So we're gonna really put you in contact, because that's also who told you you're looking for a DTR transfer. Derek makes fabulous labels, and I don't know how he does it, but let's use the resources that are in front of us, because I'm gonna tell you right now that the Fraycom community gonna talk about you if you using the same label maker that the rest of us use at $15 on Amazon. You can't do that, Mikey. Okay, you can't do that. Do not listen to Justin.
I'm using PowerPoint.
He makes the juice,
but it's the juice that's the most important.
Yeah. So we'll help you. Don't worry. We got you.
Thank you.
My only other question was, what is the oil concentration of your fragrances?
35 to 40, sometimes 45%.
So that's why they last 15 days and 42 nights.
So they're all extracts.
They're all extracts. All extracts.
Okay.
Well, then you know what? Honestly, I mean, if they're all going to be extrait, you might not need to go more than 30. There's quite a few companies that are only running 30 ml bottles because they're all extracts, and
Zernell is one.
Yeah, Zernell's one. Nasamato, you can only get them in the 30 mils.
You can only get them in 30s.
1973.
Yeah, it's pretty much industry norm when you're dealing with that. Like, nobody bats an eye.
Yeah.
So just food for thought.
And I try to make mine very affordable. As affordable as I can, so everyone can have it. I want everybody to have an opportunity to wear my stuff. I hope they do. And I would love to hear their feedback, but I try to make it so that everyone has an opportunity to buy them.
Well, how can the people reach out to you?
Well, since you were asking, they can go to www.profumo, PROFUMO, and Toti, TOTI.com.
Profumo. Is there a subscribe and like?
Toti. You know what you could do is on my Facebook page, I have a Profum di Toti Facebook page.
There you go.
So you can go there too, and you can watch the videos when I come out with them, and you can see me just blabbing away and talking about the new fragrance or the upcomings that I have out.
Yeah, I put your Instagram on.
I need y'all to get on over and follow and like the Profum di Toti Facebook page. We will also, of course, be sharing that. And it says it's on X. Share to X. Share to Facebook. Share to X.
Because my Instagram is horrible.
I don't know. I was gonna say I don't see nobody that
on there. Because I didn't know but
just make sure talking to Mikey that just has all of your links, because we will post those so that we can make sure that the people are following you for updates. And always, if you tag our group or whatever, we make sure that tag one of us on our personal pages. We make sure that we share those things to the group so that we know when your new fragrance is dropping. You see how many R&B orders came out of Aroma Affair. Well, you don't see, but there were quite a few, because it was sharing. Everybody's like, I got mine.
I saw it on Facebook. I was like, pushing it. Like, that's great.
But on our part is that we make sure that our community is aware. So they were ready when the drop was coming. So they were so ready that apparently I was number 200 in line, but whatever. So I'm just telling you that it's going to be the same for you. And I told you, as much smack as I'm talking, I'm excited when it gets to the point that there is a line in front of me. That's exciting. Okay. Because like I said, I'm going to have that bottle, that I'm not going to put on eBay. I'm not going to put, I'm going to have it.
Are you, do you have anything on Fragrantica yet, Mikey?
I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
Are you on? Well, I know you don't, but has anybody bothered to do a Perfume page? Because apparently we can just throw those up there. Has anybody done one?
A Perfume page?
Perfume is like Fragrantica, but it's a little bit more user friendly in the community. So it's
it's kind of like Wikipedia for fragrance.
Yeah, it's more like that. It's more like the community can add So a lot of indies are over there.
Oh,
so
cool.
Yeah, so paging Antoine Miller. So we will reach out to him to see if we can get you on the Perfumo page, just so folks can find the notes, right? So because I'm gonna tell you right now, we lazy, and it's easy. The easier the information is to access, the better it is for sales and use.
Love it.
Michelle,
at the end of the day, it's an education thing.
Questions. Now I got to change the questions, Michelle. You out here giving out the answers. Toti is his grandpa's name. I told him write it down. Now here you go. Now I'm not gonna put that on the list.
Yeah. So as far as today, I did share some photos, and the website is on those, but we'll do a follow up, and especially when we post the questions for today's live, so that people can start to answer them to win the bottle. We'll put everything: Facebook, Instagram. We'll put your group page. We'll give them everything, and then we ask them, just in case you don't know, we ask them to go there. We give them homework, so not only do they get all these amazing entries for being first, watching the longest, tagging people, having the people they tag actually join, all those things. They'll answer the questions. They get points for answering questions correctly, but then going to your pages, liking, sharing, sending screenshots to show us, and then we go check to make sure they're actually still there 2 weeks later. Yeah, we want them to work for your stuff, but we also really just want to make sure that that we are there to help advance your objectives too. So if there's ever something that we can do for you, call out, because we're all wanting to see you succeed.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. And make sure, I'm sure that a lot of people have gone and looked for discovery sets, maybe ordered stuff while we've been doing this video. So make sure when you get that, throw up a review, make it a scent of the day, tag Mikey, tell him what you love, tell him what you hate, be honest, but be nice. Let him know. He obviously said he wants to know. Just give an honest review. Tell him what you like about it. Tell him what you don't like about it, and tag him, and I'm sure he'll respond.
I will.
So, and speaking of things that get you, before you go, I still got to talk about where the jasmine and the rose meet the sea. Is that I finally get that?
Oh, when you almost killed Danielle.
I didn't know you didn't like jasmine, or
no, I'm highly allergic. So it's highly allergic. The thing is, if it depends on the concentration of the jasmine. It's the white flower. The gardenias the gardenias do it too. So it's not just that. But it was like okay, they said it was gonna be. It was like it was like you visibly saw me go down on the. It was in me. And the thing is, it was the fragrance, and you guys got to notice, because not about my reaction, was that I could smell it through the packaging. So I actually thought I was going to be okay. I actually did. That was why I just went ahead and sprayed it. Usually I would spray and just be like, okay, and I don't even spray them close to me and kind of walk to it. But because I could already smell it, it was like, oh, this is really nice. And then I sprayed it, and then molecules hit the air, and it was so bad because we were live. It's like we were.
But that's a testament, because Michelle Brinkman is like your biggest ambassador, and she sent us. Yeah, she sent us some, and she's like, I need the address. I want to send you something. I want you to smell something. And then same for Danielle, and she's really. She's your champion for sure.
When Danielle was here last, I was going through the sample bags, and I pulled that sample that Michelle had out, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, and then it was, you should have seen Danielle's face as I'm reading it. It was like holding up garlic to a vampire. It was, no! I said, no, we're not going to touch that one. I'm not going to have you go down in the kitchen.
It was the end of Wicked. I'm melting. That was so. But this is the thing. Like I said, I could smell it through the package when it came, and it's beautiful. It is what I call a pretty girl. That's what I call it, a pretty girl. I feel pretty. It's just a pretty woman. walks into a room. That's what it smelled like. And I was like excited and just did not, but I'm sure it's because it was already packaged. So the kind of jasmine note had settled down a little bit. But then when I sprayed, it was like, here I come. And I was like, oh, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that.
Call for a recess.
Yeah, I said I was not ready. And then but the rest of that is that my would-be mother-in-law, Miss Yvette, loved it. So she was like, well, I want it. I said, you can't have it either because you'll spray it and kill me. So you can't have it either. So I gave it to my niece. I only see her when I'm going to go see her and told her, you better not ever wear this and I'm around.
I love that fragrance so much too. I wear it. I wear it myself. I like it so much. It might lean a little thin, but man, yeah, you don't want to get near me because I spray extras. Well,
I'm glad you know that. So, when I make my way down to Houston to hang out with you guys, because I don't know how far that is from Houston, but when I make my way on down there, you got to know, don't wear that. Because then, because mine is the Texas is open carry, right? So you might have a problem.
Wow. That just took us out. Okay. So we really appreciate your time, honestly, especially on a Sunday. You're so busy all the time, and we just really, really appreciate you giving back to us. And just wanted to say thank you.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
And I got to give a shout out to the folks that joined. And I love how active you all are. Thank you for your questions. And, thank you for engagement. And again, supporting our indie perfumers. I know it's easy when they're the big names, right? The guys that we know, or the gals that we know, or the fragrances that we really know. But I love it when you tune in and ask questions of the indie perfumers and the indie houses. They've already let me know that they're already following you and have joined your Facebook group. She says apparently there's a Facebook group, so they're ready, they're on it. And I gotta give a special shout out to Laura Merritt. We do, because she won yesterday. And she was the first person on here today. She, and number 2 was Jessica Lemoyne Ross, who won yesterday also. So I got to give shout outs to you two ladies. We appreciate, continued engagement. We all love that, everybody loves to play the games. Everybody loves to spin the wheel, and we all love to win. But we're winning every single time one of these perfumers and one of these houses gives us time to share their knowledge. And so we really, really appreciate you, our audience, our family, and we really appreciate our perfumers and our houses. Mikey, thank you for becoming one of our family.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Yeah, and we want to see you. We want to see you. We're going to have a lot of people that are going to come and follow your Facebook group. But definitely, when these people tag you, man, we love to see people interacting. So when they shout out to you, tell them like, hey, what did you really think? I know that a lot of people are going to be sending stuff saying like, oh, I like this, like that. Have conversations. I really love to see the conversations. Patrick really got into it with Jerian as far as like really crunching the note breakdowns, and they were having such a back and forth. And, and we all love to see that because that's really where it's at. The educational side is really what we're trying to bring, and the artistry behind it, the conceptual realm of fragrance, not just, this is the new TikTok of the week kind of thing. No, you guys are pouring your heart and soul into this, and we want to actually see people talking about that, the inspirations behind things and the hard work, and setting that beaker for a week and a half just to let it spin. That's what a lot of people are finding more interesting than just the same old stuff. So please feel free to send, put out pictures. Hey, check out, I got something new in this beaker. Let's see what it smells like in a week.
Yeah, feel free to tag whatever you want in our group.
Awesome.
Yes, absolutely. This is not the no links group. Please share. We want to know too. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. And gotta remind y'all, this is the kickoff of Lorenzo Pizzaglia week, I guess. That's going to be beyond interesting for many ways, because it's always great when it's a language barrier. And he's so cute, y'all. He's so cute. He just going Italian flirt his way through the phone. He is. I know, right?
That's funny.
I know, child. I told you the way he grabbed my hand and kissed my hand and so beautiful woman here, a rose for you, and then put a rose fragrance in my let me buy something. Sure, I'll buy something. No idea what it is, but I'm buying that. So, but anyway, it's gonna be great, and we hope you can tune in to one of the masters there, Mikey. But we're gonna learn all about the places you'll go. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.